Hey everyone, welcome to this quick what's in the box for Warhammer 40k Commander Shadowsun's model. Now this is a model that I purchased from gamingfigures.com, obviously paid slightly less than the Warhammer Games Workshop's website. Gamingfigures.com do offer discounts on miniatures that they sell, ranging from 10% upwards. Now, the box art shows Shadowsun with her two command and protector drones, the new version of her stealth suit. We've got some basic blurb warning parts in different languages on the bottom. Just basically a repeat of artwork on the other sides. So let's get into this. Come on. Now she will be my commander for my town forces. And I think we're looking at one sprue in total for this model. Yep. So there's the sprue. You got a couple of flying stand stems here, and a 50mm base and 32mm bases. So it's essentially one sprue, or two if you do it that way round. Let's put this aside and have a look at the destructions. So it looks like we're starting off with the base and the legs. She does have a moulded base, a piece of ruined Aquila by the look of it. We're then going to be moving on to building up the body, two halves, adding in her arms, and then adding in the weapon arms by the look of it. Yeah, so she's got her arms and then the additional weapons arms, and you would then join the torso to the legs. Now her two drones are built this way, and the way that the flying stems are attached to the bases, they have a small piece of rubble which goes on, and then you stick the flying stem into those. So we'll see those when I come to build it. So yeah, looking nice. So Commander Shadowsun, quick stat rundown. She has an 8-inch move, 3+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill. She's strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, attacks 4, leadership 9, and a 3+ save. She has an MV37 advanced guardian drone, 8 inches, 5+ weapon skill, 5+ ballistic skill, strength 3, toughness 4, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 6, and a 4+ save. And an MV62 command link drone, 8 inches, 5+, 5+, 3, 4, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 6, and 4+ save. Now so she's a single model. You can only have one in your army, and she has here we go. Right, the advanced guardian drone has a 4+ invulnerable save. When a friendly Tau Empire model would lose a wound whilst within 3 inches of this model, roll 1d6. On that 6, the wound is not lost. Save your protocols. Okay, so this is important for keeping Shadowsun alive, Oshasera, as she is known in the Tau language. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting her built and adding her to my Tau list. Let's have a look at the two little bits of sprue that we get. So we got a nice base, and it looks like once it's glued it's going to be quite a solid platform for her to be on. So hopefully if you drop it she's not going to burst apart. She does come with a pulse pistol, and her fusion blasters come in halves as well. I think that was probably just an unnecessary, because obviously we've seen that they can make the fusion blasters in one piece. I think that's probably just an unnecessary step, additional step. And then we have the two drone here, which we make up. They're basically similar in outlook and design, but with just slightly different finishes to their configuration underneath. So this would be one drone and this is the other. So yeah, nicely moulded, crisp. It's a 2020 sculpt on this one. So hopefully you'll come back in a mo and we shall get her built. Right, so here we go. All these little plastic trays that you see in front of me, what I've done is because I clipped the whole model off the sprue, I've basically placed each build section into a tray to make it easier to then get rid of the mould line seams and any sprue gates that were left on there, tidy it all up. But I've still got everything positioned so that when I come to build it in sequence, I haven't got any major issues. These little, they're just the front off of blister packs. I think these were packets of sweetener, and I often use these, like for example the intercessors, the monopose intercessors that came with Imperium. I will clip those off the sprue, put one intercessor into each with everything that they need, and then I can just literally take it, clean it up, build it, put it aside, take the next one, without getting parts mixed up and confusion reigning. So there you go, little hobby tip, just what I do. So the first thing we're going to do is put this base to the round base. It's a nicely detailed base actually. It's got some skulls on it, as you would expect from something in Warhammer. Right, okay. So that's on. Now this, when you locate this, there is some moulded areas which you need to be aware of. So it goes on at a slight angle to the base like so. It will only go on one way round because of the way it's moulded. That goes on like so. There's then two more parts that build up the legs. So the legs are in multiple parts to build them up. And you do need to kind of like get them into the right position. Like so. And then add in some glue to secure that, and then the other side goes on. And it builds up. It just seems to me that GW did this just so that people had more things to glue, because again I'm sure that they could have moulded much of that in a single piece. But hey, there you go. Right, your next bit is the top of this left leg and part of the groin area. So that's parts 5 and 6. And this will go together in a way which will give you a slot, a keyed slot, so that you can put part of the other leg into it. And that goes on to the back, or kind of the front of the left leg there, like so. Like thus. So we're then building up the right leg, and again very similar way that it went together to the left. So a bit goes on like thus, and then the other part goes into it like so, and then the front of the thigh towards the knee goes on just there. Now this will then, as you can see, you've got the keyed lug just there, and that will go into her groin area like that. That's the first major part of the construction done. So next is her torso, and this, in a similar vein to the stealth suits that the XV25 suit that she's wearing is modelled on, comes in two halves. So, and then you add in her chest plate, which goes on there. The good thing about this being open is that you can glue from the inside, which is quite nice. And then this piece slots in to it just there. That's it. So that's currently the front of her body. This will then go onto the torso like that. However, first of all, we are putting arms in. Now, make sure you get these around the right way, and these locate into the front sockets. And these are keyed, although you could, if you wanted to reposition, trim off the key to position these arms how you saw fit. And they're keyed on the weapon arms as well. So again, you could, if you so chose, change those. We then have these small bladed items, which these go into a slot just there on the battle suit, which should make them stand proud. So one this side, and then one the other side. We've then got our armour panels that go onto the shoulders, which go and locate just there. Continuing on, I'm going to take a slight step from the instructions, and I'm going to glue the torso on at this stage. The reason being is that I think it's going to be easier to glue it on now rather than try and glue it on when all the arms etc. are attached, with a chance of, with the glue still being slightly soft, squeezing the arms and breaking some off. So there you go. Right, the next thing I'm going to do, just to be out of sequence slightly, I'm going to leave that to just set for a spell, and I'm going to pop the flying stem bases onto these round bases. Okay, so one. And these flying stem bases just slot, the white or the clear flying stem bases will just slot into those like that. And I can leave those to just go off. So moving on to the weapon arms, the fusion blasters, as we saw in the earlier part of the video, come in two halves. It does mean that they can allow for the barrels to be open. So whilst I'm in kind of like two minds about them being in two halves, I suppose it is a good thing. Now, you need to decide how you're going to have your fusion blasters, whether you are going to have the high energy fusion blaster or the dispersal fusion blaster. They both confer different attributes. The high energy fusion blaster is 24-inch, assault 1, strength 8, -4, d6, damage d6, and the dispersed fusion blaster is 18-inch, assault 2, strength 7, AP -4, and damage is d3. So they're both AP -4, which is good. One's a d3 and one is a d6. I'm going to be more inclined to go for a high energy fusion blaster. So in that respect, you're going to need the single barrel to go onto the rear of her fusion blaster. So one of these small barrels, and that will go there. There's also a small sensor array which goes this way up, so it goes that way up, and it goes onto the fusion blaster just there. We'll put that aside to dry, and then obviously the second arm is exactly the same, only you're doing it on the opposite side. On this one, on the outer side, there is a micro missile pod by the look of it, which is this. That goes just there. And then the high energy single barrel goes and attaches underneath like the last one. And those are our fusion blasters made. Now, these are then located into the model, and again they are keyed in these slots, so making sure to get them the right way round. The one with the missile arm is on the right side, and again, although they're keyed, if you wanted to position them yourself, you could remove the keying and place them in as you saw fit. So this one's being a little bit awkward, and that's it there. Right, excellent. So our model currently looks like this. We then have some shoulder armour to go on. And again, make sure you get them on the right side. Like so. Right, next up, head. Now I've chosen to go for the helmet. The helmet is in 2 pieces. Will only go together one way. And there is some keying underneath to make sure it goes in. Okay. Like so. And then her pistol goes on her left side. So this pistol goes on her left side, and there is keying to make sure it only goes in the one position. Like so. I'm just going to use the scalpel to use the blunt side of the scalpel to just press that on. So that's her built. That is Shadowsun. The next part is the drones. So we've already done the flying stand bases. I'm not going to glue these in because obviously when I come to spray the bases in a bit after I've put sand on, they're going to need to be covered up, so it's easier to just not glue them in at this stage. Now there are different parts. So this first one, you need this part, okay, and you use this one. So parts, come on, parts 43 and 42. And you're using part 39 as the base for the shield. Okay. We then have, there's 2 parts labelled 40 and they're both the same. And they just locate into the very top of the drone. Like thus. Right, I'm just going to leave that there. And essentially it's the same sort of process, but slightly mirrored in its application, because these drones are almost mirror opposites of each other. And then make sure you get this round the right way. So this, these two protruding items are facing forward. And then again, part number 40 goes in the top. Now I haven't taken off the last two bits. So those are the way the drones look at this moment in time. And I haven't taken off the last two bits because I didn't want to drop them and get them confused. So part 45 goes on to the one where the drone body is labelled, is numbered 44. So this one, 45, goes in there. And it does go at a slight angle. So that's your first drone complete. And then this last one is number 41. That goes in this slot on that side. And that's that drone complete. So both those drones are done. This is what they look like. So as you can see, they're kind of mirrored, and it's just like what the specific drone does as to what its difference is. And then obviously Shadowsun is complete, and looking at the single spine jetpack on the back, which is synonymous with the stealth type battlesuits. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully join me in my next video. I'm not too sure what that will be, but rest assured that there will be another one coming soon. All right, take care. Bye.